So we want to take a look at collaborating and reviewing in a document. I'm actually going to look at some of the comments that are already in this presentation. There are a couple, and then we'll take a look at how we can add more. So I'm going to click the Review tab, and if you're displaying comments, you can actually show the comments pane, which will appear over here on the right-hand side. So if you have a presentation that you are collaborating with others on, then you can open the comments pane, and this is where we will add comments. If there are existing comments in the presentation, you will see the buttons here to move to the previous or the next comment. However, if there are none, you will only see the new button in the presentation. Also, on the ribbon, if you don't have the comments pane open, you can still tell if there are comments in the presentation because previous and next will be active. If they are not active, then there are no comments currently in your presentation. So let's take a look at how we would add a comment if we wanted to change something. In this presentation, I'd like a font that has a little bit more pizzazz. And so I want to change the font type. So let's add a comment to this first slide. And if I don't select anything specific, it's just going to place the comment in the upper left-hand corner. So we will type in the comment that we want, replace the font with Candara. The way that I would accomplish that, if I am the individual who is replacing fonts, is I would have to go to my Home tab, and over here in the Editing group is a Replace button. Now, if I just click on that, it's going to bring up the Find and Replace feature, which is not what we're looking for here. If you click the drop-down arrow, there's actually another feature called Replace Fonts, and we will select that now and choose the fonts that we want to start with and replace. So Calibri is already part of the list because that's the font that we have selected. Now I'm going to choose Candara is the font that I want to replace. So I select that in the With list and click Replace, and all of my font has now been replaced. So if I have been tasked with completing that process, then I can reply to the original comment to indicate that the font has been replaced for the entire presentation. I know that my account information is showing up at each comment, but if you have different individuals who are using this presentation, then you would all be able to see the different comments from individuals. Your account information will display. And I love the fact that you can reply to a comment so that we know if there's dialogue that takes place, we can see the dialogue and we can confirm that things have actually become completed. So now I want to move on to the next part, the next comment in this presentation. There are a few comments that have already been added. So we'll click the Next Comment button, and that jumps me to slide 4, where I see I have 2 pictures, and the first comment says, can we make the images consistent in size? So let's do that. The first thing I want to do is make sure that the pictures are level. So if I push that picture up just a little bit, you'll notice that there's a dashed line that appears. Those are called smart guides. Now, just because of who I am, I also want to align this picture under the text box, and I should get another smart guide when that is both level with the picture beside it and in the center of the text box. Now I'm going to resize that picture, but as I resize it, I can ensure that it becomes the same height as the other image by watching for that smart guide that's going to show up at the bottom. There we go. So now, again, I may have to quickly center this under the text boxes that are above them, and I'll do that same thing to the one on the right. So there we have it. we have completed that comment. Now, if I'm done, I can either mark done to show consistently that we have made comments, or I can just simply click the X to delete the comment, depending on what protocol you have set in place with the individuals that you're collaborating with. If you want to keep a good, consistent process, I would say wait until all of the presentation has been edited before you delete any of the comments, and then you can simply go through and delete them quickly once everything has been marked as complete. So this next comment says, make the text in the top match the background sky color in this picture. I don't see a specific picture, but I notice on the slide that the comment is actually right next to the image that has the girl snowboarding. So I'm going to select the text. I'm going to click the mini toolbar font color dropdown. And PowerPoint is the only application that has this feature, but you'll notice this little eyedropper. If I click the eyedropper and then point to that sky background, it actually changes the text to the exact color that I pointed to. So if I want something that's a little bit lighter than my original attempt, I can go back, grab the eyedropper, and go for a slightly lighter portion on the left-hand side of the picture. Now if I select font elsewhere, and I want to change the font color, I don't have to use the eyedropper anymore because those two colors that I selected have been recorded in my color settings. Now, as we continue through the process of editing this, once we have reviewed all of the comments, I can make sure by clicking Next that we have completed everything. You'll notice when you reach the end of the presentation, you do get a notification that you've finished it and ask if you want to start at the beginning again. So I can continue and make sure that I covered everything. Then at that point, if I want to delete all the comments on a particular slide, then I would be able to choose that option. From the delete options that are available on the ribbon, on the Review tab, you can delete a selected comment, you can delete all comments and ink on a slide, or you can delete all comments and ink in this presentation. We'll go with that third option, click Yes, and now you'll notice, as I pointed out before, both of my comment buttons are grayed out. So that is working with and collaborating on a PowerPoint presentation.